morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Let's Talk Business podcast. My name is Bobby Holman, and I am your host for the hour. And before we have a very exciting show planned for you today. But first, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors: Amico Federal Credit Union, Southwest Airlines, and Prima Core Solutions. Today we have with us a very special guest, Miss Dana Sweeny, who is the owner of Dina's Kids Legacy. Miss Dana, I'll let you I have introduced you, so tell us about Dana Sweeny.
Yeah, so I'm a former educator. I've taught in the school districts for 11 years. I am a former educator in the sense that I've started my own business, which is Dina's Kids Legacy. We now have our own learning center, Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center. Um, we offer services to try to change the world, to provide a lot for our children, for our families, for our youth organizations, all throughout our areas.
Wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. Talk about for a minute, what is Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center? That's a mouthful. Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center. What is that?
So Dina's Kids Legacy Center. Dina is my mom, so the business is named in honor of my mom. My mom was really, really crazy about kids as well. So it's kind of like a natural thing of how we got passed down to the love of kids. Of course, with my background in education, I kind of thought I chose to be a teacher, but of course I'm now realizing that it's not like really what you chose. It's more of a calling. So her love for kids, I think, has naturally passed down to me. And legacy, of course, is just kind of carrying on her name, what she left behind for me and my sisters, like what we mean in this world, what we're supposed to mean in this world. And I'm just trying to pass those things on to other kids in this world. And also, even within the part of legacy, is more like teaching all of our kids, like, you represent your family, so what are you going to leave behind to represent your family? Learning Center, of course, is just that we offer a variety of services, that's open. It's open to our youth, it's open to our families, it's open to community organizations, youth organizations. It's open for everything to just to open it up. It's not just like you're not just coming to learn your academics, you're coming to learn so much more.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow, that is exciting. What are some of the main goals for Dina's Kids Legacy?
So our goals at Dina's Kids Legacy, they seem like they don't stop. They're like limitless in the sense, because again, we're not just aiming to teach the academics. We're aiming to teach the whole child, and we're even going for the family. To try to pour some knowledge into our families that are going to make some long-lasting impressions throughout our world. So we offer our homeschool support. We offer tutoring. We offer We Shine Bright Kids Club. We offer our Friday night lights and learning. So that's like where they come in for a movie night, but the movies are specially chosen by me. So they're more along the lines of like leadership. Leadership or self-development, and then it's always going to be like an activity that we do after the movie. So of course the kids or the families might think that they're coming to get like a movie. That's our Friday night time, but mainly the goal is for me to get the learning portion in of what they need to pour into themselves. So self-development is what my aim is when they come on the Friday nights. Even with our We Shine Bright Kids Club, we give mentorship. And so that mentorship comes in from my teacher background of what I know it takes to make a successful child. And so I try to pour in that teacher knowledge that I gained throughout my years of teaching. We do book clubs within that kids club. We do guidance lessons. So we try to, again, give them those things that are happening in the world. I need to know what's on their mind so that we can make for a better future for our kids. Like they can't just be not spoken of. So we incorporate that in our kids club. We also have learning parties. Our learning parties are like what we do 2-hour sessions. They're themed learning parties. So it might be an ice cream learning party. Ice cream is really like ice cream for learning. Okay.
Ice cream.
So they're really themed. It might be like a race to read, but again, it's a 2-hour session where the kids come. They're learning but they get a 30-minute allotment for like fun, dance, music, activities. But those 30 minutes come in like small increments. So we might be learning, we might be doing our learning activity, and then maybe 5 minutes of, okay, here's the song, you get to go dance, play, go have fun with some other children. So they get to do that throughout the time, and it totals the fun time, totals like 30 minutes. So for the most part, again, I get what I know I need is the learning from them, and then they get their fun.
Oh wow.
um, the homeschool support, we offer homeschool support in the morning time at our facility. So we're open during the daytime where schools are typically open, but of course now with COVID, they're probably shut down or having to go through different changes. So we offer our services in the morning time to where you can drop in and bring your kids in, to get that homeschool support, they get their learning support that they need, to chime in and just kind of get some reinforcement on what they're working on learning at school. Our tutoring, we're open from Monday through Thursday right now from 4 to 8 p.m. And we ask that our parents come in at least a 2 hour session when they bring them. And they choose whatever time works for them. We put it on our schedule. Um, but again, that's just to give like an overall component of what can be beneficial to a child. So with tutoring, you get the support of like to fill in the gaps of what they're probably missing. Like you might be a seventh grader, but I can probably go back to what you missed in fourth grade. So I'm throwing in old skills that can help you further your learning at this time. So tutoring is beneficial, and we also make note that tutoring is important not just for kids that are failing. Tutoring is important even if you're an all A student, because if you
Oh
are
wow.
achieving at sixth grade, then I can help you with what you need to know at seventh grade. The ultimate goal is for us is to like get our kids prepared for what's to come. And so, if you can graduate early, then we're trying to help you graduate early. Like
Right.
whatever it is, we are thinking long term to really help our kids. So even with that, our goal is to help children of all sorts. It's not just if you're failing, it's not if you're having a hard time, it's not if you're a problem. It's none of that. It's for whoever you are, we have more that we can
Wow.
help, to give our kids and our families to benefit them. Um, we also have family learning events, and we'll do that monthly as of right now, to where we're bringing in our families to kind of get some support, and that's like life support in the sense of knowing what it is that you could have done in kindergarten with your child to help them. And it's not too late. So that's why we're giving that knowledge now. What is it outside of just what the child gets when they go to their classroom that we can help pour in into the child, but of course with you? We offer our Legacy Leader Plan, which is a plan that it provides inspiration, it provides like an academic focus for the child, and it provides an engagement piece. So basically, a parent would say, "Hey, can you make us a legacy leader plan for the month?" And I'm going to make your plan for your child. It's specific for your child, but it's beneficial for the family, because now we're
Wow.
giving you things that you're going to be talking about at home with your child that you probably wouldn't have thought about that before. And so, as I continue to offer services at the Learning Center, I'm realizing that our kids are truly having a problem with expression. It doesn't mean that it's not in there. And now we're beyond academics. It's like just asking them, like, who are you inspired by? Just different things like that. What do you think about what's happening in the world? Just so many. How do you feel about COVID? We know that they have to be feeling some kind of way, but the problem is they cannot express it. And
Mhm.
so with the Legacy Leader Plan, we're giving you plans that you can do at home if you're not able to bring your child in for tutoring 2 times a week, or for different services that we have. You take this plan, or you can use it in conjunction to the services that we have. So typically I like to say that it doesn't take the Legacy Leader Plan does not take the place of tutoring. We want your child to come to tutoring, and then still get the Legacy Leader Plan to where you can do that. You got a monthly plan to do at home. So for Monday, you have a plan of what I already send you, with inspiration and academic focus and engagement piece that the kid is interacting with the family with as well.
Wow.
So that's one thing that we offer, and I really enjoy that. I have some parents that tell me how their kids have grown from that plan, the Legacy Leader Plan, and it's giving like the parents some power. It's
Okay.
giving the parents some power to kind of say like, oh no, I told them, you need to say it like this, but meaning you need to go ahead and express it like this, or you
Okay.
can't just, I don't know, like, no, you do
Mhm.
know, and we're going to help you figure it out. So with what we give our children for the Legacy Leader Plan, just kind of banks off of like giving them conversation pieces and a way to guide their thoughts. So that's one thing that we offer. Of course, we offer youth camps. We offer youth camps like on holiday breaks from school. So that'll be like over spring break. We offer camps over Christmas break. Um, Definitely over summertime. Of course, we'll be offering very many camps, at different times of the day that'll be beneficial for our children. Um, Academic focus, leadership focus. We try to pour in entrepreneurship to our kids. So we'll have some camps that are built in to support our children in a variety of ways. Okay. I'm trying to just make sure we do college exposure. So, like right now, we'll be doing a monthly college fair, basically where our kids are coming in and they're just learning about various colleges that are near and far, but just colleges that you may have never thought about before. And we don't realize, we as in like in this world, is just a matter of exposing them. So with us giving the college fair, they'll come in and they get a chance to learn about the cost. We're gonna show them and tell them the difference of like the out of state costs if you go to out of state college versus being here, more local. But they still get to make the decision, and that doesn't deter them. We just help them understand, okay, this is how much it costs. If you want to go to school in Ohio, this is how much it costs. But well, what are we going to start doing now in the fourth grade to start getting there? Okay. So that's where we come from with the college fairs that we have. Trying to make sure if I covered everything. I think that's basically it for the most part. Those are the services that we offer right now at the Learning Center. I can't say that those will be all the services that we will offer. We are open 6 out of 7 days of the week, and the goal is to offer a variety of services. So we're not just a tutoring center because we offer a lot of different social educational activities for our kids to be learning, not just for the kids. We offer parent services. We want to give our parents support. So we advocate for our parents, we speak up for our parents, and we do it for the youth. So there's a lot of things that occur, and again, it comes from our teacher experience um, that you need to know, and you can't help what you don't know. So with us being like an advocate for parent, having those parent meetings, we have parent meetings on Fridays. So with us having those services for our parents, not forgetting about our parents, but having our parents involved and speaking up for them, giving them knowledge and information on how they can help, and even how they need to kind of like really take a look into the school system, that can better support them and how to work with teachers, then we're open for all of that. So that's what we offer right now, but we'll be open to a lot more because we're not closing. We'll be there 6 out of 7 days a week, open and ready.
Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. You mentioned earlier what really sparked me was when you said that the services are not just offered for the students that are struggling. I like when you said it for the child that is excelling. The seventh grader that can do ninth grade stuff.
Yeah.
And so I love that. It's like a something for everyone.
Yes.
And so if you're excelling, then you're helping to enrich that child that is on that excellent pathway. And then also for the child that are somewhat challenged or then we offer services to help that child. And so I love that because when I think homeschool support and tutoring, I automatically think in my little mind that it's for a child that is having some challenges at school.
Yeah.
But to hear you say no, that's not what we do here. Yeah. And so that I think that's great. Yeah. I think that's great. Let me ask you, what drives you? What is the driving force behind Dina's Kids Legacy?
So the driving force behind Dina's Kids Legacy is really just with the intent of like expanding our minds. Like there's no limits, and we get to our age, in an older age or whatever it is, and we think that like, oh, this is what I have to do. I have to be a teacher, or I have to go and work for someone. No, you don't. You can go do that for a portion of your life, or you can go do that while you do your entrepreneurship endeavor, whatever it is, and you can go wherever. So our goal is really like to show our kids that like it's whatever you want. You just tell me. Really, you don't really tell me much. You just show me who you are, show me where you're at, and I'm gonna pour so much more into you. So the change that I want to bring to them is just like to expand your mind. You come in one way, and again, you may be an all A student. You may be a child that's really excelling, like your parent is thinking, oh, well, they don't have any academic struggles. But how about I can pour some leadership into you, and I can change you, and then you could be little mini me's. My last grade that I taught was first grade, and the goal was to transform them. You know,
Okay.
they come in like little bitty babies, and then by the end of the year, it's like 22 mini Miss Tweenies.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is just to give them so much power. So that's part of what I try to bring to the table, to say, hey, no matter where you are, this is, it doesn't mean you have like a problem. You don't have to have like a
Right.
shortcoming, you know.
Right.
It's just to like pour into who you can become. And it's like, it's no limits. It's beyond what I can think for you, you know? So that's our goal, and that's what we try to bring to it.
I think that's pretty cool. I heard you mention a couple of times entrepreneurship.
hmm
Talk a little bit about entrepreneurship at Dina's Kids Legacy.
hmm So entrepreneurship for us, we always have starter activities at the beginning of our tutoring sessions, and that's
Okay.
just a given. So we always spend like the first 15 or 20 minutes to either focus on leadership, or either entrepreneurship, and those just vary. So if your child comes on Monday and Wednesday, Monday we'll probably do a starter activity with entrepreneurship, and on Wednesday we'll probably do a starter activity with leadership. And so with the entrepreneurship, we're just pouring some things into them, you know. So one child, she came in, she was a sixth grader not too long ago, and I had it on the paper, it said entrepreneurship. And so I said, well, do you know what an entrepreneur is? You know, so we were starting there. I wasn't trying to take her with
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So we were
Mm-hmm.
starting with entrepreneur, and she was like, no. And so I said, well, just guess, just think. I said, you never heard it before? So then I gave some examples, and she was still like, no, like it wasn't clicking. Well, give us a few days, because she came to tutoring for a few days. And so um, by the end of it, she has like a business card now written out, and when I say written out, it's like she knows how it's gonna look.
Wow.
She made up a little phone number for it, you know, and she has like her building like laid out. So now you have a child that
Wow.
did not understand what the word entrepreneurship even meant, and I'm telling them that, oh, this is not for who you can become. This is like a right now. This is what you can start working on right now, you know. And so it was amazing to me to see how and that's part of our activity. But now she has the vision. She has the vision of, oh, and I'm gonna put this over here, and I'm gonna put that over there, and this goes right here. And she knows who she's gonna sell it to. She knows that, you know, she's gonna vary the prices so that different families can come in and get the support. So it was just pretty amazing. It was amazing to see like what can happen if we pour that into our children at a very young age. And again, for me, I came from, you know, an experience of like being my college. I went to school to study to be a teacher, so I've only did education, you know, and I knew I was going to be a teacher. That's what I always wanted to do. Not thinking of how you can start your own educational facility. You can have your own learning center, and 10 of them and 15 of them, and then they can be this and they can be that, you know.
Yeah.
So my goal is to pour that into children at a young age. Like, we're not talking about entrepreneurship for when you grow up. We're talking about right
Mm-hmm.
now, while you're going to school, and when you come home, this can be something beneficial that you're doing, and it can help you stay out of trouble, of course. But I mean, just imagine. So that's our goal with
Yes,
entrepreneurship.
yes, yes. Just imagine, just
Yeah.
imagine. And it sounds like you were the vessel that caused that child to stretch
Mhm.
her imagination.
Mhm.
You know, she went from not even maybe not being able to pronounce it or to
Mhm.
know what it was or to
Mhm.
be able to connect the dots with it, but with some guidance.
Mhm.
You know, with a gentle nudge. And so now, looking back on it, she's forming.
Yes.
She's forming her own company, starting with a business card to
Yes.
build that. That's
Yes.
amazing.
And if I can just say real quick, like we vary the lessons, right? So I have the lessons already kind of written out because I know what I want them to learn from entrepreneurship. But it's say if we have a kindergarten, like I had a kindergartner who came the other day, and of course they are more imaginative. So you ask them, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? They might say princess. This one said she wants to be a ballet girl.
Okay.
And so instead of me saying like, oh, well, no, not that, you know, well, what else? What can you make? What can you do or sell? It wasn't about that. So we looked up ballerina, and so as of yesterday, we were talking about, okay, well, what kind of services can you, you know, offer? And she kind of like crossed her legs, and she said, well, I can teach them how to cross their legs and get on their tippy toes. And so I was like, yeah, so you could be the teacher. So her sentence that she
Wow.
wrote down, even as a kindergartner, was, I can teach kids how to cross their legs. And so my next thing is, when she comes next week, is to be telling, we're going to get into the conversation of, well, how much could you charge if you teach a child that? And of course, at her young age, I'm going to go with the flow of what she
Right.
says. So if she
Right.
say, $1, then we're going to say, oh, $1, because the most important thing is for her to understand that you charge for that. Like, that's the part of being an entrepreneur. And I don't take away the part that she says she wants to be a ballet girl, because that's what's cool.
Right.
Like, that's what then she asks, well, can we do it again? And I said, well, probably next time, because we only do it like the first 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't overtake our tutoring sessions with the learning, So just saying, that was pretty cool for me to even see how we turned a ballet girl into an entrepreneurship endeavor.
Wow. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, what is it, in your own words, what makes your center different from other centers?
So what makes us different from other centers is, again, that we are not just offering services. We don't just offer tutoring. It's very clear. We are a tutoring center, so we're the first tutoring center in Lamarck, Texas.
Okay.
But we offer that and so much more.
And so much
and
more.
So much more.
And so much more.
You're coming, but we're not trying to get you to leave.
Okay.
And the aim is not to overtake all of the funds from our parents. No, the aim is I'm here for whatever it is that you need, and it's already there. And so that's our goal, and that's what makes us different, is that most tutoring centers are open in the evening time. They may open from 2:30 to 7. Well, we're open from the morning time until 9 o'clock. And so we offer a variety of services, and then just the way that, like I said, we're open 6 out of 7 days a week. Our goal is to adhere to what everybody needs. It's not just the child, it's to the family. So we want you to bring your families in to learn with your child. And not just academically. I mean, we'll show the parents strategies and everything too. Academically, we'll support you in that way. But our goal is to even help the family cycle, because that way you can start incorporating leadership, community, leadership, community leadership, development, just different things. We teach holistically, so we offer that when our parents come and our children come, of course. So.
Okay. Wow. What makes your center different from a school?
We're different from a school in the sense that we don't really have any limits. Like, there's not a scope and sequence for us. We do have, our activities are laid out with our curriculum of what it is that we're going to teach our children. But again, it's not like, I don't go find the book when you bring your child, like, oh, they're first grade, let me see what the system says I need to teach. No, it's not that. So there's nothing wrong with it, because you do need that guide when you're a school teacher. You need that.
Right.
But we aim to, I'm going to teach you from where you're at. You might not need to go over the whole first grade curriculum, but I can teach you pieces from kinder to first, and I can bounce back to kinder again and come back to first. Like, I'm meeting the child where they're at, And so even with, again, being different from a school, it's just that there's no limits. There's no things of what we can say, what we can't say. We do come with a disclaimer that our way is not necessarily the right way. But we are able to pour in the whole broad of life, the whole broad thinking of what it is that can help, So I don't have to just, be afraid to say, oh, well, if we do this, and I don't have to feel like I'm overstepping our bounds. As being the leader of Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center, I know that I have very good intentions, and I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm not only passionate to help the children, I'm passionate enough to try to help those who are at home with them. Any exposure that they have, that's what I try to get into. And so that's what we're different at. And I've always appreciated my teacher background. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wanted to retire as a teacher, and now I just have to realize it has to be this way, because there's so many more people that I can reach with Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center. So that's the goal. The goal is to keep on expanding and to keep on pouring in. And it doesn't have to be, we have a summer program what we call Learning Beyond Four Walls. And that's exactly what it is. It's like, we can be at the beach and we can be learning. But not only at the beach, right now, like, our center is stationed in Lamarck, Texas, but we can travel. We can travel. Get your kids on this bus with us, and we can go and do this. And it's so exceptional. So that's the goal.
That is very, very exciting. For our parents who are listening, for our viewers and our listeners, I love that Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center is a customized service for whatever that particular child needs. Say, for instance, there's a brother and sister, and they have two totally different. Okay, well, brother A needs this, and brother B, and then we can customize, what we do to meet the need of that child. And so that's really, really exciting. Talk a little bit about your background as an educator.
So again, with my background, I came from Sam Houston State University. I graduated with the education degree, certified in early childhood education through fourth grade. It's my favorite. But so I came from there. I've taught in the school districts for 10 years. I taught a private kindergarten class before, and that was for 1 year. So I had my fourth graders, and by the end of it, they were reading.
Okay.
My 4-year-olds, they were reading by the time I finished with them. And so, again, I started off teaching at Mainland Preparatory Academy in Lamar, Texas. It's a charter school. I taught there for 5 years, and then I taught in my hometown of Galveston, Texas for 2 years. And then I went on to teach in Pasadena. I taught first grade in Pasadena. And that was first grade is one of my favorite grades. Again, mainly because you get to see the transformation. You know, they come in like little bitty babies, and then they leave, and they're like, "Oh, well, I know this," and I'm like, "Yes, you do." So again, so that's my educational, my background of where I come from. If I mention my background of where I come from, I guess it's also like I think like legacy. So again, I think of more of who I am and where I come from beyond and before the academic arena. So yes, I went to college for such and such, but I think of more of my background of my mom, and who it is. She's passed on now for 12 years, but again, when my background, it's not like separated from that. It is one and the same with this is who I am. My background is really from my mom. And so everything that I do and I bring to the table now is from what I was taught and more. The way she cherished us and cherished just children in general. That's what I bring to the table. So all of that goes along. I know it's not really educational necessarily, but it goes along with my background and what made me today.
Okay. Tell us about how, for our listeners and our viewers, tell us about your website, where we can find you, your phone number, and all those things.
Okay, so our phone number is 281-617-1272. Our website is www.dinaskidslegacy.com, and Dina is DINAS, kids, KIDS, legacy. .com. You can search us on Google. We're there. We'll pop up for you. Our physical location is 11021 Delaney Road. We can be found there. We offer virtual services as well based on availability. So just look us up. Again, the number is 281-617-1272, or you can check us out on our website. We also have a Facebook page at Dina's Kids Legacy LLC. Dina, DINA apostrophe S. So that's how you can find us.
Okay, and you have to be careful with that because your name is Dana, and your business is Dina's Kids Legacy. So it's Dina and Dana. So that's okay.
So when you call, you'll be calling for Dana, but the business is definitely Dina's Kids Legacy. Okay. So that's why I spell it out. You won't find Dana, you'll find Dina's Kids Legacy, DINA apostrophe S. But if it's typing in the website, it's just straight Dina, DINA. Dina's Kids Legacy is who we are.
Okay. So, and you're located in Lamar, Texas. You're a brand new learning center. And tell us about your service areas. And then talk a little bit about, this is probably a long question, and then talk a little bit about enrollment opportunities.
Okay. Okay, so our service areas, we purposely put ourselves in Lamarck, Texas,
Okay.
as an aim to have like a central location. So we service Galveston County. So if we're in Lamarck, Texas, then we're right like in the middle. We can service children that are in Galveston. We can
Okay.
service children definitely that are in Lamarck, Texas City, Hitchcock, Santa Fe, Dickinson, League City. And so then we also offer, our services, of course, to Harris County. That drive is not very far to get to us. That's about 15, 20 minutes to get to us, depending on where you are in Harris County. But so we do have a central location to
Okay.
be able to service so many different children and families as well. And again, even with the community organizations, if you have a little league team, then bring your team down, to us
Yes.
so that we can pour
Yes.
some leadership into them.
Yes.
And I tell you, more times than not, our kids enjoy it. So they,
Okay.
they, they leave from us, and like our tutoring program right now is Champions Are Us Tutoring. So you imagine if you have a football player on the little league team and
Come
you bring your
on.
team down to us, by the time they leave from us, they're feeling like, oh, I'm a champion. And we have the whole little layout for them. So
Okay.
that's the mindset that we create in
Yes.
them.
Yes.
And then they can go play ball, So
Yes.
so that's what we're available for. We're open for all. If you're a church, if you're a school, bring them out. If you have a school program, like the kids need to go on a field trip, whatever it is, bring them to us because we
Okay.
have those educational activities that we do with them.
Okay.
And you won't have a child that leaves us not happy. That's
Okay.
what it is. And so you said about enrollment. We are currently, of course, we do have open enrollment. We have a variety of services. So there's so much that you can come and, it's open. And we have a
Okay.
3,000 square foot facility to where you can bring your child in for the homeschool support. If that's what you need throughout the daytime while you have to go to work, then we're here.
Okay.
If you need to bring them for the Friday night lights and learning. If you want to have a family night, you need to go do something with your significant other, bring them to us.
Okay.
And it's not just a fun way, it's the learning component that's thrown in with the movie, as I mentioned before, that they're going to come and they're going to get some leadership and self-development with the Friday night lights and movies that we offer.
It's not a babysitter because
Oh no.
we're not babysitting while
Mm-mm.
maybe it's date night with the parents.
Yeah.
But no, we're learning. We're
Yeah.
learning in an environment that is conducive to learning
Yes.
and making it fun.
Yes, and then that's the goal. The goal is for the parents to feel like, hey, I need to go do such and such, or maybe the kids to feel like, oh, I'm gonna go watch a movie at Dina's kid, at the play. They don't
Mhm.
say the whole business name, but kids will say, oh, I'm gonna go watch a movie with Miss Dana.
Mhm.
Yes, you are. But my
Mhm.
dear, you're really gonna get some
Right.
learning as well,
Right.
and that
Right.
just it's all it has to happen. So that's what we offer. Again, it's open enrollment. Call us at any time to see what we have available. We work with your schedule. We are flexible in the sense of if you sign up for Mondays and Wednesdays for a service, and that might be working with your schedule at that time, but then if you realize, oh, we need to change a day, I start working on these days, then we change that as well. We have,
Okay.
as long as we have the availability, then we can fit you in where you need to be. And even with us being open on 6 days out of the week, we have Saturday services.
Wow.
We
Wow.
don't necessarily offer everything every single Saturday, but there will be something on every single Saturday. In the
Okay.
sense of meaning that you might not get a learning party every single Saturday
Okay.
throughout the month, but maybe the second and the fourth Saturday it'll probably be a learning party. But we try to fit in so much to where um, we're open, we're available, and we do that on purpose. Having the different services so that
Right.
you pick one.
Right.
And I failed to mention that we offer education consulting in the sense of we do a blueprint for your child on where they need to go.
Wow.
So if you have a high school or a ninth grader, then bring them to us. And it's like a blueprint for your life. It's not just, most of us think that we start thinking about college when our kids graduate from high school
Okay.
or that 12th grade
Okay.
year. Well, how about we do this blueprint for your life? You come with us one time a month, we write out a plan, and we start putting tools and strategies in place that's going to like lay it all out for your child. Then that way we don't have anybody lost or lingering or anything like that. So yeah, just call us. We offer specials for our parents, so we try to meet it to where it's a feasible service for our parents to receive. We offer a scholarship program.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. It's just so much. We offer deals for our parents. It's just we're trying to do whatever we can to let you know that it's it's more about than just money. It's more about just making the big buck. It's not that just comes with it, but we're really trying to get you here because your child needs it and it's a benefit. The more, I always say, the more that I can help a child is the more that I can actually help me and the rest of us in this world, because we don't need any smart criminals.
Right.
We need them to be very, very smart so that they know which path they don't want to go down.
Right,
so
right.
we're here.
You mentioned earlier, champions are us. Champions. I like that, in that, when you talked about the children that were engaged in sports, and I'm sure that their coaches are teaching champions, but now with those with the that part of it, as far as sports and the coaches and teaching champions, so is Dina's Kids Legacy. So it's like you're saying that you can be a champion on or off the court, or on or off the field, or on or off the diamond. And then when you speak in terms of holistic, that's like the whole child. And so that is very, very important. I don't even want to get into back when I was raising children, but it was very, very important to develop the whole child, the well-rounded child. When you think in terms of, scholarships, and you're applying for these schools, and you're filling out all these applications, and they're asking you all these different questions about, they're trying to see how well-rounded you are. And so, yes, and that's like you are pouring the foundation, from, early on with Dina's Kids Legacy, for those things that is going to happen in the latter, as they grow and develop.
And I'll just say too, like, it's more about creating the mindset, so I'm very clear to tell our kids, who are struggling readers, of course, if a parent call, and that is a really big thing now, like, so many of our kids are not having basic skills of knowing how to count money and knowing how to read. And I feel very strongly about your ability to read, because I feel like that's almost like a given. There is no portion of your brain that is just not there that says you can't, like, you don't deserve to know how to read. That's not true. It's reading everywhere. Like, you can't go to the store and pick up your items without knowing how to read. You can't drive a vehicle without knowing how to read. And then we have to think about, how much that diminishes our children when they don't know how to read. So we can skip over and act like, oh, it's not the biggest thing or whatever. But I say all that to say that a lot of our parents may call for a reading service, and say, oh, my child doesn't know how to read, or, well, they can read well, but such as. But we're pouring in the foundations, but more than the foundations, because, no child is going to come and learn and master everything in one tutoring session. You're not going to get it in 1 month, because there's so much that I'm pouring into them. What you will leave with every day is the mindset. We do an oath when they come to us. They read through our expectations, and we take it step by step with them and say, give me examples of what this looks like, of not giving up when you come here. What does that look like? And so they have to give an example of what it would look like to see a child giving up, and they say, well, no, I'm not gonna give up, because such and such. And that's fine. That's great for us, because it's like, you might be a middle school child that's struggling with reading skills, basic reading skills, but you understand that it takes a champion mindset to overcome so much. And so you feel good and you're happy to come. When you come, it's not gruesome, it's not hard, it's enjoyable, it's full of my personality. We have a good time. And you just so happen to get taught in the meantime.
Okay. That sounds like a win-win situation all around. A champion mindset.
That's right.
I like that. A champion mindset. So what about if a parent called and said, or a parent set up a consultation with you, and they said, well, Miss Sweeny, I have 2 children, or I have 3 children. And when you talked about earlier in enrollment and special services, special programs that you offered, or special packages, that you offered, do you have anything in place that you would be able to offer to a family that had multiple siblings, that, like, say all 3 of them, say it was a family with 3 children and all 3 of them needed tutoring?
Yes, well, we offer a sibling discount, and that'll be long standing. But for right now, for the month of January, we're offering a 40% discount for each
Ooh.
additional child that you have. So that's any service, whether it was tutoring or if it's for the Friday night lights or if it's for a youth camp or for the We Shine Bright Kids Club. You have that one child, that gets the regular paid service. And again, we aim to be more. We're not trying to be. We're more cost effective. So we try
Okay.
to be reasonable on the pockets. We still
Okay.
have to pay for what we need,
Right.
but so the first child gets that, the regular price for that service, and any additional children you bring after that. So if you have 3 children, the additional 2 kids get 40% off of whatever the service is that you bring your child in for.
And you said 40% off?
40%.
Oh,
That's
wow.
40% right now.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And again, for a few of our viewers and our listeners that just tuned in, tell us again the address and the website
Okay.
of where the Learning Center is located.
Okay, so again, we're located at 11021 Delaney Road in Lamarck, Texas.
Okay.
Zip code 77568. We're right between the Dollar Tree, which is very good for us, and Barcenas Mexican Grill. So you'll find us right there in between those two.
Okay.
Our website is www.Dina's Kids Legacy. Again, Dina will be DINAS, Dina's, and then kidslegacy.com.
Okay.
You can search us up on Google for Dina's Kids Legacy. We also have our Facebook page, Dina's Kids Legacy LLC. And on there you'll see a lot of our posts that we make. It's just ongoing flyers, but also just our thought process and our aim to reach so many people, and a lot of why we do what we do.
Okay.
So that's that. And then our phone number is 281-617-1272. Call us at any time. We're available. You can text if you need to, and we'll just reach back out to you when we need to.
Wow, that's great. Make sure you go and check out for most parents. Do your due diligence. Do your research. Check out the website. Go check out the Facebook page and see what Dina's Kids Legacy has to offer. You already know what your child needs. Or that child that is excelling, so go and check it out and go by and look at the center. It's a wonderful facility. It has definitely has a wow factor, and it's not like a school. It does not look like a school at all. It's the
Inspiration.
It's very inviting. It kind of just it kind of envelopes you into the just the flow and the ambiance of the place. Absolutely love it there. Let's talk a little bit now about COVID-19, this pandemic. And as a result of this pandemic that we have been in since March, how has it changed the deliverables of education, of educating our youth?
Well, I guess the most obvious thing is that our kids are not going into classrooms right now. And I got a little choked up. Okay, I get a little choked up about that. Just because, our kids get so much out of that environment, so much that we probably have taken for granted, just because I would have never known to prepare any child for this. You don't even think to tell a child that, oh my God, one day we might have a pandemic, and one day you might have to learn only through computers. That's hard. That's a lot,
Right.
My first job, like I said, at Mainland Preparatory was from the superintendent was Mrs. Merchant, but she was also my 6th grade teacher. And so for me, ever since the age of 11, we had that personal connection. And so now when I think about classrooms, like, yes, virtual works. It works. I see my nieces do it. It works. It's a very good benefit for our children. Now that they're learning how to submit their work online. And I didn't learn that until I was in college. So there is a benefit to it. But what they're missing out on from being able to go into a classroom with an educator and to get poured into, like, face to face, to not be able to have, like, when I was a teacher, and I obviously I still do it now with the center at the Learning Center, but the main thing that I was never willing to compromise as a school teacher is my family time in the morning.
Okay.
And the family time for me is just, before we open up a book to read in the morning, or before we start anything, We're going to sit here in our circle and we're going to talk. And it's not long, it's not drawn out, but it's enough to like let you know that I'm a person and I'm going through maybe what you're going through. But it's
Okay.
going to be okay,
Okay.
And so those are just the things that I think about when we think about, what our kids are missing out on right now from COVID-19. It's heartbreaking. It really is. And as much as us as adults are trying to figure things out, I can't imagine what they're going through internally. Um, so again, with Dina's Kids Legacy Learning Center, we were not willing to be shut down through COVID-19. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were going to be open more now than we would have ever been before because this is the time that our kids need us more than
Yes.
anything.
Yes.
They don't have
Yes.
libraries to go to. They don't have so much of what they're used to and what they need, truthfully, what they need. So now we take the place of that in the sense of, or maybe we're an extension of it. If your child is still able to go to school, we're an extension of it. Again, we do have such a large facility to where we do still practice those guidelines. They are still spread out. We have 3,000 square feet. So we just have it to where they're spread out and everything, but you're coming, you're engaging, you're getting, it's like your school away from school, but I was really finna say your home away from home because we provide all of that comfort. So what they're not getting at school, we provide that. And then with the guidance lessons, now is not the time for us to fall short and forget
Okay.
about all the emotional support that our children need. And
Okay.
not just emotional. When I say guidance, I mean like even how to steer you along the right path.
Okay.
When they were at school, they were able to get, a counselor comes in. Like my last year of, my last few years of teaching first grade, the counselor comes in once a month and she does a lesson about, you know, maybe about just protecting your body, keeping your body safe, or
Okay.
obviously what we all know is like drug free,
Okay.
or stranger danger. There are so many things that they're not getting now because
Right.
they can't go to school and see their counselor. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
We always incorporate character and moral values. That's a part of our leadership. So just teaching kids how to be responsible, caring, sharing, be kind, all those things that we need to be decent human beings in this world that they're missing from schools right now, we are providing that. So
Wow.
again, it doesn't matter what your service is, but your child is going to walk away with that. That's
That
just
is
who we are.
wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Um, Another question here. How can Dina's Kids Legacy close the gap
Mm-hmm.
in educating our youth post pandemic?
So I'll just say again, it's that the fact that like the gaps don't exist for us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like there is nothing that we can't show our children and our parents that they can achieve. So with obviously we know that COVID is creating many more gaps, many more gaps than
Okay.
what already existed. So the things that they were missing out on as far as the educational support,
Mm-hmm.
foundational skills that they're missing, the face to face that they need,
Mm-hmm.
having socialization skills, being able to like the educational activities that we offer. Like say if your child comes to a learning party, they're meeting children that they've never met before.
Yes.
And then they're walking away like, oh, one of my kids, or two of my kids, they told me the other day they were discussing birthdays. So when I came over, I was like, well, what y'all talking about? He said, oh, well, no, we was just saying his birthday is finna come up. And I was like, well, y'all don't even know each other. What do you mean? And he's like, oh, no, we already talked about that.
Okay.
So those are the things that our kids are missing and that they're looking for where they're at, and it's a safe environment.
Yes.
I've had a parent that told us, how safe it is, how inviting it is. Oh my God, my child loves it, and I love so much about you.
Yes.
So we're just trying to make sure that our kids don't fall in the gap. Okay, so we know that they exist. They exist prior to COVID. They definitely still exist now, even if we think that our kids are making it. Again, like I say, my nieces do a wonderful job with. I have a fifth grade niece that does her virtual learning. She adheres to her schedule. She doesn't play around. She's back at the computer on time, everything. But there's still a lot that she's missing.
Right.
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 that kids can benefit from
Mm-hmm.
from coming to a center. And that's why we aim to do a lot of things. I don't want a parent to feel like, no, my child doesn't need tutoring. No, they're good on their grades. Well, guess what? If
What
they're
about
good
the
on their grades,
social?
they come for the education consulting or come for the
Mm-hmm.
learning party or come for the college fair. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many things that they just deserve. And so We have it there available for them.
And then the social aspect of being able to talk to a person and not a
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really really important too.
They need those connections,
yes,
and they're lifelong
yes,
connections. As I mentioned,
yes.
the reason for me ever mentioning my sixth grade teacher was mainly because she's mine now. Like she understands. Like in sixth grade, I said that she was my second mom, but now we understand that she's not going away. And a lot of what I do and how I do it and why I do it has to be because of what she poured into me. And so it's the same thing that I just, say that our kids need. They need those connections. And I make sure I tell them that I'm a person in this world before I am a teacher. So my goal is not just to sell you a service, it's to provide you with so much that you need, that kind of support.
Wow. Okay. Well, Miss Dana, um, it has been a wonderful interview. I think that you have provided so much information. I'm glad that you're in the Galveston County area, making your mark on Galveston County, providing a much needed service for our children. We talk all the time about our children are our future, and we talk about the pouring into them and the investment that we're making right now in our children. And the harvest will come later, and so that gets me excited that there is Dina's Kids Legacy in Galveston County, which is also a member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Yes, yes, yes. And I also love that it's so much that I love about the services that you offer. Of course, the entrepreneurship. When you said that, like my radar just kind of went going, because entrepreneurship plays such a huge role in our economy today. And so that's very very important. If we can reach them, right now and start their minds to thinking,
Right. Yes.
and planting those seeds right now, and then watering those seeds, and then you just never know. Because we look at what's happening in our world today, and you're looking at the new vice president, the Kamala, and so the young lady who you said that she couldn't even pronounce it, or she didn't even know what it was. And so now that she's thinking, well, you know what? And you talked about mindset, mindset.
We talked about Kamala too.
Yes,
like it's the everything.
Yes.
It's whatever you want, you can get it, and we're gonna help you get there.
That is wonderful. that is wonderful. Again, we want to acknowledge our podcast sponsors as we draw to a close. Amico Federal Credit Union, Southwest Airlines, and Primacore Solutions. We want to thank Miss Dana Sweeny for being our guest today on our Let's Talk Business podcast. Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We thank you for coming on and sharing. And right before we close, tell us one last time. You mentioned you have open enrollment. Tell us one last time your website, and your phone number.
Okay. Phone number is 281-617-1272. You can call us, text us. If you're at work, shoot us a text or anything, and we'll get back to you at a later time. Website is www.dinaskidslegacy.com. And again, that's Dina, Dina, and of course S, so Dina's Kids Legacy. You can find us on Facebook at Dina's Kids Legacy, LLC. And that's where you can keep up with so much for us. And also on Instagram, Dina's Kids Legacy as well.
Okay, well, she's out there on social media, and I would like to encourage all of our listeners and our viewers to go and check it out. There is something for your little dumpling.
Right.
Check it out, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful experience, and we shall see you next time.